Then after I'm going to the masjid, I'm going to Tarawih. You know,
it's just fully focused around Allah.
Your focus goes from food to your namazes. So I think the more is just being conscious of Allah. I think that's more of the essence.
Wow. Okay. All right. So as we know, Ramadan is coming up, and
tomorrow night, inshallah.
Tomorrow night, inshallah ta'ala, bro. We decided to put the video out for Monday, which is right before Ramadan, inshallah. Hopefully. I had my beautiful notes that I have written over here. You want to see it? See how beautiful they look?
I don't want to. Gorgeous.
My handwriting has been so bad. Oh my God. I haven't written anything down in years. We use laptops nowadays, okay? And plus, this was quick jotting down. This is very embarrassing. If people see this and they think that I would actually write like this. My dad, when he writes on like a letter, if he's sending a mail, it looks so nice. And it's like, dude, I need to learn how to do that. I'm not going to look like a child wrote the freaking email. You know what I mean? Okay, so, Taha, I was thinking about this. We're coming into Ramadan 2021, alhamdulillah.
Yep.
Last Ramadan, 2020, no one was at the masjid.
Nobody.
No one was doing anything.
Nobody.
Now, here's the thing, Taha. I don't know why, but I almost feel it in the air. Has Ramadan, because of the last year, is it almost as if Ramadan lost its charm this year? For majority people.
I don't think so. I think people are excited.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like anybody who has like iman, right? And everybody, a lot of people love last Ramadan. A lot of people love last Ramadan.
Did they?
Yeah.
I heard the opposite.
Really?
I heard that they didn't like it because they weren't able to go to masjid, they weren't able to pray tarawih. Personally, I think majority of the beauty behind Ramadan is going to the masjid.
So I heard from a lot of people they loved it because like life paused.
No,
Life paused. So they weren't going out with friends. They weren't going to work. They weren't going to school. They were just like sitting at their homes with nothing to do. And so the people who were motivated were doing so much more ibadah than normal.
Okay.
So in turn, they felt closer to Allah than they've ever had before.
That makes sense. So you are seeing it from a different perspective of different types of people, and I don't know who they are. I don't even know who the hell I'm talking about. I just thought, I don't know, like for some people, I feel like people who are not striving for Islam personally, people who are not necessarily striving for Islam, usually when Ramadan comes, it's like a blessed month for even them. For even them, they would do 5 times a day prayer, this, somehow. Somehow. They don't know that they're in control of it. Right. And I feel like now they're going to be like, oh, Ramadan? Yeah, I guess so, because they totally lost the whole spirit. It's almost like when people don't celebrate Christmas, and there's no jolly, there's no snowman, there's no music, there's none of that for Christians. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Shaitan is locked up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I think so. It's never gonna it can't lose its charm. Shaitan's not here to tempt you. You're still gonna do your what you normally would do. You'll still do your frauds actions. I'm still gonna do my taha actions.
Right. Okay.
But Shaitan's gone. And then, I mean, everyone's gonna fast, right?
Inshallah.
Anybody and most people will fast. That itself has so many, like, if you look into the science behind it, it does so many things to your body that I think that's where everybody gets that clear-headedness. It's because of that. And then they get closer to Allah. Yeah. So I think once Ramadan, it might have taken the charm away from pre-Ramadan, looking forward to Ramadan, but it can't take it from Ramadan itself.
So when it starts, it starts.
Yeah, so I think it's like, okay, like they're not looking forward to it because before they were looking forward to, oh my God, we have so many iftaris and hang out with friends, see my friends at the masjid. And iftar is a blessed thing, right? Giving someone iftar, if you feed someone iftar, you get the reward for their fast. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. Fasting is one of the best things you can do for Allah. The origins of Tarawih isn't in Jamaat, you know that? Over Muhammad's lifetime, Tarawih was done 3 times in Jamaat only. 3 times.
That's wild.
One time it was 4 rakat.
Wow.
One time it was 6. One time it was 8. So this 20 rakat thing wasn't a thing.
My God.
I mean, yeah, the Tarawih lasted all night. The Tarawih lasted all night. It was to the point where Sahabas were afraid that they would miss Sari. That's how long Tarawih will last.
Wow. I can't imagine that. And we complain over about like an hour, 2 hours long.
I mean, these guys are warriors. We're keyboard warriors.
Man, dude. That's next level. Yeah.
Come on, man. That was a good line.
Well, I didn't hear what you said.
I said they were warriors. We're keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors. That's facts, bro. That's true. That's true. Yep, very true. Good point. Yeah, my mom said too. He said that people forget that it's not about quantity; it's about quality. He said, "Don't overburden yourself." He literally says, "If you want to pray however much you pray, then go home, and you think that you'll pray more quality namaz, then pray the Hajjat at night, get some rest, relax." And a big tip that he gave is don't overburden yourself. Don't go strive so hard that you burn out the first few days.
I think the key with Ramadan,
Uh-huh.
I think this is my key. I don't know about other people's key.
Okay.
It's not so much of what I mean. Yes, you pray namaz as much as you can, read Quran as much as you can, you pray Tarawih as much as you can, you do all as much as you can. But the main thing I think is remembering Allah.
Okay.
I think that's
Hmm.
that. I think is the essence of Ramadan, is to remember Him in all your actions. When you're not eating and you're hungry and you're still focusing your day,
Ah.
you realize you're not. This life isn't what you think it is. Think about it, right? Us as humans, my normal day. Okay, I wake up, eat whatever for breakfast, usually a protein shake, go to the office, drink some coffee, eat lunch, drink another cup of coffee,
My
come home.
lord, dude. It's all about intake, it's all about intake.
Like, now with food cut out, you're no longer thinking about. You're thinking about, oh, okay, iftar. Then after iftar, I'm going to the masjid. I'm going to tarawih.
It's just fully focused around Allah.
Your focus goes from food to your namazes. It goes from it goes to these more
yes.
deen things.
Yeah.
So I think the more is just being conscious of Allah. I think that's more of the essence.
Wow, okay. No. So would you say which is the more beneficial one? Memorizing the Quran, reading the Quran in Arabic, or understanding the Quran?
Understanding.
Yeah. My imam, he said that there's a big miscommunication as well with the whole quantity versus quality thing, and also this is that it's actually most beneficial to actually read and understand what you're saying in the Quran rather than finishing it.
And if that's your goal. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, strive for that. You're not putting one thing down than the other. It's just what's more beneficial than the other.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, what they do is actually they do one or the other. I think that they only, try and finish the whole Quran in Arabic, but they don't know what they read.
There's still immense blessings in reading the Quran in Arabic.
Right, but if we're trying to maximize the blessings, and then they should probably read and understand it.
So I think a lot of it also comes from your self-satisfaction, right? If somebody's okay, when I read Quran, I feel satisfied. I feel this closeness, and you feel that if that's what makes you closer to Allah, that might be what's best for you.
Okay, so I have a perspective on this. Okay, so there's things in this life that we do that we'll only see the reward in the hereafter. And there's things in this life that we're going to do where we see immediate reward in this life and inshallah in the hereafter. I think that kind of falls into play with if you read the whole Quran in Arabic, you'll feel self-satisfied. Alhamdulillah, I was able to do it, and you get reward on the Day of Judgment. So immediate and Day of Judgment. But then when you read the Quran in English and understand it and try to implement it in your life, even if the person doesn't feel the reward of doing that, he will get even more immense good deeds on the Day of Judgment. Because now he's understanding the words of Allah, that Allah is speaking to him, and he's implementing it in his life. And when you implement an action of Allah into your life, that means you're worshipping Allah even in that action. And personally, I think that the person should feel extremely rewarded too, even after reading the English translation. But I think that could fall into the category of they don't feel as satisfied, but it's about what's going to happen on the Day of Judgment when they see the amount of reward. That's what my imam said. He said that in the sense where it's a lot more rewarding to read and implement yourself to the Quran rather than just reading it from end to end.
I can see that. Because when you add the implementation, I see where it. But if you're reading the Quran, right, just to read it, you're like, okay, it's Ramadan, I'm gonna read the Quran. So you read it in English,
okay,
versus you reading in Arabic, but you're not implementing anything in your life. That's not what you're not doing. That's not what your goal is. Your goal is just to read it. Wouldn't the words be the same then?
I mean, it could be, but why would you? I mean, I feel like if a person's reading in their own language, they can't help but implement that. If your Lord is talking to you, even if someone's father, astaghfirullah, horrible example, there's no comparison obviously, but even if someone's father is speaking to him in Punjabi and they don't understand Punjabi, then what's the benefit of that? He listened to his father, like physically listened, didn't say anything, but as his father told him in a language that he could understand, which is English, and the person implemented it, he would get reward. He would go somewhere. Even if he didn't want to even listen, he would get some knowledge from it, and he would want to listen if he likes his father, you know? So that's what I'm saying. If you read in the Quran, and personally, I feel like Allah would never... I don't think anyone could read the Quran in English and not gain any knowledge or even implement something into their life, even if that wasn't even their intention.
Okay.
I think it's impossible.
Fair. So what about people who've already read it in English?
Read it again and again and again. Because I had that issue. I was thinking about, like, man, I read the Quran in English and it felt sad because, like, well, I read the whole thing. But then once I started reading it again, I realized that I forgot a lot about it. Or I just gained new knowledge from a different perspective. Because the Quran is a limitless book. There's not going to be a limit amount of things that are in the Quran that are to be taught and to be learned. Numan Ali Khan said in one of his videos that in one of the surahs that he was reading, he found out something and he talked to the scholars about it, and they were like, yeah, that actually makes complete sense, that no one in the past has ever figured out. No one has even talked about it, written about it, nothing. No scholar from the past. The Quran, a book, people are still learning. People still have different knowledge about it.
So what are your key desires? What are your key goals this Ramadan?
That's what I was just about to ask you. It's so cool. So, constant dhikr. That's one thing I'm going to really try to implement. No matter what I'm doing, either say Alhamdulillah or say Astaghfirullah or any type of dhikr. That may be a little challenging because my mouth is going to be very dry. It's going to be very dry. That's what happened to me, at least in Ramadan. My mouth is so dry that majority of the day I actually keep my mouth closed. I actually don't say anything, which is kind of crazy because are we going to do these podcasts while we're fasting? Allah knows best.
Yeah, we have to. No other choice.
We have to, bro. We have to. But yeah, I'm going to do that. Constant dhikr. In the morning, sometime during my work, I will read Quran, inshallah. Read some portion of the Quran. Read some of that. And then possibly even read more stuff that I can gain knowledge from about Islam. And pray tahajjud, Taraweeh, alone, a certain portion of it. Usually I would pray, let's say 8 at the masjid.
Well, you've been praying 20 since I've known you.
No, man, that was like I think like 2-3 years ago.
Huh?
That was 2-3 years ago when I think sometime where I was able to wake up very late for my job. I think that was the first job that I had. I was literally going into work at like 9:30. Alhamdulillah.
After
10, close to 11. I used to go to work at close to 11 o'clock. Those days.
Heck late.
Super crazy. Yeah, all I know is that I usually get really sleep deprived. So my plan is I'm actually going to pray however much I can in the masjid until I get tired. And then I'm going to go home and pray alone and try to make a super quality namaz. And then I'm going to either go sleep, get some rest so I can do better the next day. That's my plan. What about you?
I mean, I plan on starting the Quran from start to end in English. That's one of my goals.
Wow.
And it's actually not as hard as people think.
Okay.
You pray namaz 5 times a day?
Yep.
Read 4 pages after every namaz. That takes what? 10 minutes? 15 minutes?
I don't know about that. 4 pages, 10 minutes?
Yeah, how long does it take you to read 4 pages?
Oh, man. But then if you have a target of like finishing it, won't you just be reading it just to finish it?
Is that...
What happens if you read it to implement your life? Because then you'll read a small like a portion of the Quran and you'll take 30 minutes on it. If you ponder upon one ayah in the Quran, like stop, ponder upon it, it's like one of the greatest things you could do. That's what it's like for example, cramming when you're at school. You study the night before for a test, you put all the information in your head, you have it there in your short term, and then it goes and dissipates, and then you end up completely forgetting about what you studied for, but you do the test correctly. If you go very slowly and casually and actually understand every single aspect of that studying, then on the test day, you're a breeze, you already know everything, and then even after the test, you still are aware of what's going on.
Yeah. Definitely not in school.
Huh?
Definitely not what we did in school.
Yeah, definitely not what we did in school. Well, hopefully that's what we're going to do with the Quran, right?
Yep.